To the first ever candlelight meditation for the holiday season. I appreciate each of you coming here, carving out time in your busy life to sit and be still, to breathe and to think intentionally about how you feel and how you're doing. And when we look within, when we really slow down and look inside ourselves, even though you think you're going to get more and more specific with every layer you peel away, the deeper that you go, I think actually the more you look inside yourself, the more universal you understand the human experience to be. Each and every one of us, when we look inside, feels similar emotions, experienced similar struggles. And so I suggest that by spending some time really looking inside ourselves today and simultaneously thinking big, we can integrate the two worlds and send peaceful thoughts to both. It's just a hypothesis. We're going to test that tonight with an experiment of sitting here together. So please find a comfortable position. You've got blankets or bolsters in your space. You can sit or lie down. You can change position at any time. You can have your eyes open. If you're inexperienced with meditation, it can be helpful to close your eyes to help you bring your presence and awareness inside your body. Alternately, the candles I've lit in front of you can serve as a focal point, like our primitive selves staring into the fire. We can look at the flame, noticing how it flickers, how it changes color, how it dances, and just observe. Breathe fully into your lungs. Let's inhale. And exhaling to contract, getting all of the air out of your lungs, out of your rib cage, out of your trunk. You may part your lips and blow out of your mouth, or you may decide to exhale out of your nose. And even if you're not blowing at the candle like a birthday cake, you can see or imagine that the flame is affected by you being nearby. The flame is affected by your existence, just as the entire world is affected by your existence and what you do with it. Inhaling to expand your lungs three-dimensionally again, opening up as much as you can to receive the oxygen through your nose, down your throat, into your lungs that open up inside your rib cage like a balloon being blown up as much as possible. When there's truly no more room to put any more air in, either part your lips or start exhaling out of your nose. And exhale past when you would normally stop exhaling and push more and more air out, more and more air out. Exhale, 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 exhale. Keep exhaling until your waist is squishing your diaphragm, until your cheeks start to get rosy, until you're almost about to cough at the very end. Pushing into the lungs to get the last atom of air out of there. And when you truly must inhale, go for it. Inhaling, pull air in, expand your lungs again. Breathe three-dimensionally. Say a little prayer of thanks for that new, fresh oxygen after you were just deprived of it for a few moments of exhale. Again, focusing on inhale as three-dimensionally and fully as you possibly can. It's going to be different for every person here. And then exhaling as completely and fully and three-dimensionally, creating a vacuum of your lungs as much as you possibly can. And you'll feel all of your abdominal layers. You'll feel your pelvic floor possibly lifting in and up. You may even feel your diaphragm pushing up into your rib cage to get all the air out of your lungs. And then you go again. And so even if this is your first time meditating or the first time in a while, you see it's no grand concept, at least not tonight for me. It's just this focusing on your breath, pulling yourself inside your body, training your mind on yourself, whatever yourself is. Maybe to you, it's your guts. Maybe it's your mind. Maybe it's your heart. Maybe it's your face. We really do identify ourselves pretty vividly with what we look like, who we think we are, how we are perceived by others in the world, whatever it is. And you keep breathing. And each time you breathe, you bring your focus deeper inside your body, away from the outside world, away from the stresses of the holidays, away from the cold of the winter's night, away from the voices in your head that actually aren't yours. They might be a past teachers, they might be a parents, they might be societies, it might be your boss, it might be even your past self. Take breaths to clear those voices from your consciousness and stay present in this moment. If you get distracted from breathing or staring at the candle or just being present in the moment here, just take another big breath. Notice the thoughts that are coming up. Observe them, but don't entertain them, and watch them float away. As if each thought is a piece of string and you're like a cat. The string gets pulled off a little further away, trying to tempt you into pawing at it. And you see the string, you observe it, wiggling around, flailing about, trying to get your attention. And you let the corners of your mouth just curl up a tiny bit in the calm knowing that you are not being pulled into that shit. Anytime a thought comes up while you're meditating, anytime a stressful situation comes up this time of year, anytime a neighbor, friend, family member, colleague says something trying to get you going, or maybe not trying, but it gets you going, think of it like a string trying to tempt a kitten into pawing away. Watch it, observe the thought, observe the temptation, smile at it knowingly. I know what you're trying to do. Take a deep breath and watch it get drawn away from you. You do not need to follow that train of thought. You do not need to listen to that voice in your head. You just need to breathe. Stay focused on exactly who you are in this moment. It's different every moment. And be still. The greatest service that we can offer the world, I'll say, we will be of greatest service to the world when we have spent time knowing ourselves, caring for ourselves, listening to ourselves, and discerning what is myself and what is everything else. My friend's mom would make a pot roast at the holidays, and she always cut the two ends off the pot roast and put it in a pan. They ate it, and it was delicious. So when my friend grew up and her mom came for dinner, she made a roast. She cut the two ends off and put it in a pan, and her mom said, "Why did you cut the two ends off of that roast?" And my friend said, "Because that's what you do. I always saw you cut the two ends off the roast and you put it in and it turns out delicious." And she said, "Honey, I just didn't have a pan big enough for the roast." And I love that story because it makes me wonder, how many roast ends am I cutting off in my life when I have a pan big enough for the whole thing? How many habits have we developed consciously or subconsciously in our lives just because we've observed it, or because people have said it to us or told us or put us in a box of, or because we have the habit of that action instead of choosing it deciding or knowing exactly why we're doing what we're doing. So especially this time of year around the holidays, as you keep breathing, of course, we can all think of ways to be stressed out, to feel obligated, to indulge in painful memories, to feel like we are not doing enough, to be subject to other people's ideas about what this time of year is supposed to look like or feel like or be. And what if that is just the roast with the ends cut off? That's you cutting the ends off, even though you have a pan that's big enough to fit the whole thing. Why don't you reinvent what this season is for you? Because you are a full pan that can fit the entire roast. There's no need to cut things off just because that's what we have always done. There is no need to continue traditions, habits, patterns, rituals that don't actually serve you being a more true, whole version of yourself. And when we can at least ask ourselves, what is that truer version of me? What is a happier version of myself? Then we can work toward it. When we see that string being pulled, trying to tempt the little kitten that we are into an argument or into a stressful situation or going down a path we always go down, can we just sit, be still, take a breath, exhale it out, curl up the edges of your mouth into a knowing smile and say, I'm not being pulled into that shit. So that's my hypothesis, maybe. My hypothesis is that maybe if we could breathe, be still, not be drawn into habits, not be tempted to follow the thought that is the string tempting the kitten, and just sit here breathing, possibly staring at the flame of the candle in front of you, possibly closing your eyes and feeling the darkness seeping in behind your eyelids, possibly picturing where the breath goes in your own body when you inhale and exhale. Maybe we would be calmer versions of ourselves that can more easily smile knowingly and let everything go that isn't ours. And so if up until now you've been watching me or listening to me, or possibly your mind has been wandering while I've been talking, I invite you now to shift gears with me slightly and close your eyes. Maybe you stack one palm on top of the other in your lap, thumbs touching tip to tip. Maybe you prefer to have your palms facing up but separate on top of each thigh, middle finger to thumb. Maybe you prefer to have your hands in a prayer position at your heart so you can feel the beating life inside yourself, rushing warm blood through all the parts of your body, up into your brain, down into your organs and extremities, and back again. If you're lying on your back, maybe you prefer a hand on your heart and another on your guts, and feel your body rise and fall with the breath. Wherever you're sitting or lying, come to stillness. Get any fidgets or figuring, any tidying, any alignment, any symmetry. Work all that out. Let's get that settled out and come to stillness now. Let's inhale fully And when there's no more room to pull air in, let's exhale fully. Settling in, breathing into your lungs and breathing out of the lungs. Feel your body soften. If there's a spot of resistance, rigidity, tension, don't push it away, but instead take a deep breath again, and on the next exhale, melt it as you push the air out of your lungs. Melt it away, expanding and contracting, softening, melting. You are here in this moment, alive and free. You are here in this moment, alive and free. All of your emotions are determined by the thoughts you have. So let us think the way we want to feel. Let us think peaceful, calm, loving, centered thoughts. Let us think kind, giving, loving, gentle, forgiving thoughts. Let us think thoughts of kindness and peace for people even outside of ourselves now. Settling into your body again, releasing any of those little strings of distraction that are trying to tempt you into pawing away at them. Letting go of any of the voices of the people inside your head. Being present in this moment. Be right here now. Be here right now. Thinking thoughts of peace and love and kindness for yourself and for the world. Because the world needs us now. This is no time to hide. This is no time to run. This is no time to fight, reject, ignore, gaslight, other, yourself, or any human. Let's breathe in. Settle into yourself again. Thinking the thoughts that you want to feel in your tissues. Thinking the thoughts that you want to feel in your bones, in your organs, in the surface of your body. Think what you would like to feel. And then share it through your thoughts with the rest of the world, because we are not so different. And likely every other one out there would love to feel that too. And maybe they don't have the luxury to listen to someone talk for 45 minutes about breathing and positive thoughts. There are lots of reasons our fellow humans out there in the world may not have the time, energy, ability to put goodness out into the world. And so let us do that work here tonight. The more goodness we create with our own thoughts for our own selves, breathing and connecting to the best version of yourself inside, the best chance we have to share that goodness, spreading the love and the peace and the kindness out there into the world. I've taken little pauses here and there, but I'll pause a little longer now for a few minutes of kind of alone time. Remember, it's absolutely okay to be distracted by thoughts for a moment. And once you realize what's happening, remember that you can smirk knowingly and allow that thought, that distraction to go away from you. Allow it to be tugged away playfully, and you settle back into your breath. Even though you'll be sitting quietly with your own thoughts in a moment, seemingly alone, if you get lonely, which is different than alone, if you get lonely, we are all here. The collective we in this room, online, out there in the world, we are all there in that space with you if you need us. So I'll ring the chime once at the start of our kind of quiet time. Once halfway through if you like to know how you're doing. And once at the end, and I'll guide you kind of out of it. So on your own time now, breathe deeply. And I'll meet you back up in a few minutes. Take a deep breath. Maybe you keep your eyes closed a little while longer while you start to bring your awareness back into this space. Wiggling your fingers, your toes, and your nose. Maybe shifting your weight a bit from side to side. And when you feel ready, you can slowly find your way up to a seated position. You can do that with your eyes still closed, or you can open them and find your way. But take your time, there's no rush. If you have a bolster, it might be nice to sit on top of it, or if you're on a raised surface, letting your knees be lower than your hips, that can be nice. And taking another breath or two to settle in to whatever position you find yourself in now. And you take a deep breath. When you feel ready, open your eyes if you haven't yet. And bring yourself fully back into this space, in this room, this moment. We've taken a little journey. And I want to personally thank each of you for being here with me. So I'll place my hands at my heart. You can do the same or do whatever feels right to you. And I'm going to bow to you and say Namaste, which these days can represent a bowing of the inner light in me to the inner light in you, or it can represent a divine in me bowing to the divine in you, the godliness in me and you bowing to each other. I think Namaste truly translates to just a general greeting of hello or goodbye. So that could mean, I could mean that by Namaste here as well. Then I like to place my prayer position at my third eye, somewhere between the two eyes, just above the brow. And then inhaling to grow tall. It's like your inner knowledge, your knowing, your calm, your peace, your sense of magic, your belief in yourself, your intuition at this third eye. You connect with that. Then you might bring your hands back to your heart, being grateful for yourself and for the others who meditated with you just now. And then you can lower your hands slowly. And I'll just say thank you. Thank you so much. Take your time. I'm going to chime one more time to kind of end the more official part of the meditation. And then I'm happy to chat.